Welcome back to Audibles and Airballs, episode 86. I'm Taylor, your host. We got Sam and Steve on the other end talking all things sports. Sadly, not too much football. I don't think we have any football today, but
Draft
it's
next
the draft.
week, right?
Yeah, it is the
Right.
draft next week, so stay tuned for that draft episode coming your way. But it's been a lot of hate on the internet, boys, on our TikToks and whatnot. Steve's out there fighting the good fight.
I love to
You
see it. I don't have a TikTok, so what's going on there?
Give
Look,
us some of your favorites, Steve.
people coming for us, telling us we're dumb and how our takes age horribly and we don't know what we're talking about. I'm here to tell you you're dumb and you don't know what you're talking about and you're just jealous you couldn't be on our airwaves.
Yeah, exactly. And also thanks for the back and forth, because that just boosts the views, right?
Yeah,
And we've always said this, we're in this for the money. So
clearly. our nice setups we got here.
Yeah, clearly the revenue's coming in.
The Ludwig Oberg take, I mean, it looked great after 2 rounds.
I thought our Masters picks were damn good. Okay, what fun is it to take Rory at minus, what was he, 300 to win the tournament? Like,
Yeah,
I don't know what he
I don't know
actually
if he was that
but-
good, but I get what you're saying.
but I hate betting the like favorite. That's not fun. We got to try to get some odds out of this friggin' thing.
And to be fair, on Sunday it was close. I mean, no one was hitting clutch shots towards the end. Rory didn't really have to sweat it out on Sunday, but Scotty
On the
was
back nine,
probably the
Cam Young
scariest.
was up 2 strokes at one point, and then Justin Rose took the lead, and this was both on Sunday, and we had both of those futures.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is like we had 2 of the guys that were top 5, and then Scotty Scheffler, I took a flyer on Saturday the way he was.
I got him
playing.
at plus 3,000, and
I was really hoping it would be a playoff, because that would be another classic narrative.
If he would have birdied 17,
I know
that
it would have put
putt
all the
just
pressure on Rory, and then who knows? I mean, Scotty was definitely playing better on Sunday. Rory was playing not to lose. Well, he was playing. He did what he had to lose.
He took out the
I feel like he was playing not to lose.
That was bananas.
That was crazy. When that went right, I was like, "This is going to be a 5-way playoff." Then, well, I guess it wasn't a 5-way at that. But going into the last 5 or 6 holes, I was hoping that there was a serious possibility of 4 guys up there, 4-man playoff in the Masters or something like that. But Scotty was 1 stroke ahead of those guys when he closed it out, which super impressive the way Scotty was at even going into the weekend. Is that right?
Yeah.
And then shot 7 under on Saturday.
12 strokes on Friday. After Friday, he was down 12.
Jeez.
So it would have been the biggest comeback in Masters history.
But I don't know. When he put it in the trees, I was like, Rory is going to do it again. And I mean, 2 years ago, he probably would have done it again, because he would have been so in his head. But luckily, he was able to play a little more free this tournament. And you could see it, especially on the weekend, having won last year. And, I mean, he deserved it. He played the most consistent. He was ahead, or at least tied for the lead at every point after all 4 days.
I know
what do you guys think of the controversy of him playing the Augusta for like the past 3 weeks, like flying in and out a bunch?
I was literally just about to talk about that. You read my mind, Steve. But
anyone could do it.
I agree. I think that comes with the benefit of being the champion, right? Like, because the other thing is you have people playing in tournaments to try to qualify. So like he's guaranteed in because he's a past winner as well.
Yeah.
He wasn't dropping out of the top 50 anyway, but
you look at a lot of the players, even Max Homa, a T7, was it?
Max Homa's had some pretty good Masters runs, actually.
Yeah. I mean, our picks were pretty good as far as, golf picks. I think all of them made the weekend.
Well, yeah, I mean, no, not DeChambeau. I had Bryson.
Oh,
He
you
didn't make
picked
the
Bryson.
weekend.
Well,
Yeah,
I
he
picked
had
him.
a-
I
he had
picked him for a
60.
top 5 finish, and
It's a par 68 for Bryson. So he was way off pace.
Yeah. Didn't you have? You had Minwoo Lee, who was up there, and then he had that 10 on that hole to
Yeah.
just crumble.
Yeah, he
And I was
crumbled.
like, oh, he went from top 5 to, I don't know,
He
15th or
crumbled.
something.
It was tough, man. Some of the players, I mean, you were seeing triple bogey multiple times. A 10. I think there was a couple 9s. I mean, Freddie Couples was in it, and then he had a 9.
Yeah, that spiraled quickly for him.
It did. He was like 2 under, and then he had like a 9er, and then see you later.
It is also crazy that course is like closed now for the summer because it's a winter course.
I mean, you look how pristine it is. I mean, not too many people play that thing, and it was a good tournament. I thought Sunday was fun. I thought it could have been a little bit more fun. There was definitely some interest. When he put in the tree, I thought Cam Young was in the mix too, not just Scotty. But then Cam Young put it in the bunker.
Too far back at that point.
He put it in the bunker.
Could never get anything going.
If he got a birdie there on 18, it would have been a tie. Well, could have been a tie ball game.
Yeah, but no, because Rory bogeyed and Cam only birdied, and he was 3 back to start the hole.
Well, that's what I was saying. When Rory put in the trees, I thought there was
like
a
he had a
possibility.
fighting chance.
Yeah.
I get you. Yeah, that's why I can't believe Rory went driver though.
No one could believe he went driver, especially I know hindsight's 2020, but when he put in those trees, luckily he had a straight path and moved the patrons out of the way. But when Cam stuck in the bunker and he stuck in the bunker, I was like, all right, Roy's got this, because Roy's bunker play is unreal.
Yeah, Cam he could never get it. It was a good Masters tournament. The back 9 wasn't great to me. It was kind of like, credit to Rory, he did exactly what he needed to win. But no one
to start that round, it was a little nerve. Like when he got that double bogey on 3, was it?
Yeah.
That was tough. That's a par 3. Didn't he get a 5 on a par 3 just early in the round?
Yeah,
and then
he did. Like
brought
hole 5.
That's where Cam Young took like a 2-stroke lead to like real early, and it looked like, and then Justin Rose kind of made a charge, but then by the back 9, Rory had kind of started to, I don't know, he just stayed alive essentially and won it. Credit to him.
Yeah, good on him. We'll see if he completes the, what do they call it when they, it's not the triple.
The Grand Slam.
Grand Slam.
Yeah, Grand Slam.
He's already completed the Grand Slam. Wasn't the Masters his last one, or am I mistaken there?
Who?
Hasn't Rory already completed the Grand Slam?
Yeah, Rory already has it. Scotty,
I was gonna say, I thought Augusta was his last one last year.
I think Scotty needs a U.S. Open. Is that right? I think Scotty's one off.
Is he really?
I think so. I think he has a Masters. I don't know. I might just be talking out my ass.
I actually don't know.
We do like to do that.
It feels like with as much as Scotty's won, it feels like he should have a Grand Slam, but
I don't know. But
he has
that's
not
next, right? The PGA Championship.
Slam. He's 3/4 of the way. He has a Masters, a PGA Championship, and an Open Championship. So he does need the U.S. Open. Wow. You see that?
Look at you, Sammy boy.
You guys take some notes?
Yep. Yeah.
There we go.
We'll see how he plays and whatever else is happening. But it's NBA playoffs time. Currently, you got the... Who's playing right now?
Clippers, Warriors.
That's the playing game, right?
Yeah, it's the last.
Did Steph ever come back? I know he got hurt.
I haven't seen him yet, so I don't know if he's coming back. Unfortunately.
Well, currently the Clippers lead 43-38. But looking at this playoff bracket in the Western Conference, you have the Thunder at the 1 seed. No surprise there. Gonna play the winner of this game. Who do you like in this current game going on?
Not true. That's not true.
Oh, they don't?
No. So this is the 9-10 game. So they go play since the Suns lost in that 7-8, they go play the Suns, and then the winner's the 8 seed.
Okay.
I think the Thunder are going to roll any team, though.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, they are.
Then you got the Spurs at 2 playing the Trailblazers. Looks like the Spurs are 10.5-point favorites.
Yeah, the Spurs are good, and they're young. They have Victor Wembanyama, who's just a freak. I'm excited. Well, we'll see what happens, but I'm really excited for Denver's matchups. Obviously, we get the Timberwolves again, but I think the Spurs will win. I don't think it's much, but what I'm hinting towards is a Spurs Nuggets matchup, and that's exciting because those games have been awesome this year.
I agree. I think the Spurs win. I will say Klingon is a big body that, like, Wemby, I don't think Wemby will struggle by any means, but Klingon is a big body. So they do have size down low, but Wemby's just too flipping good. But it's not even just Wemby for him. It's Castle. I mean, Harper's there. Vassell's a good shooter. They're just well pieced together. And the Spurs just know how to run an organization.
All right. And then we got Nuggets, Timberwolves at the 3-6. Denver 6.5-point favorites. I heard there's a lot of people upset that this game's on Prime and not like a normal channel. Just because people don't have Prime.
Is this the best series? In my opinion, it is. Of like all the NBA series, I think this is, and granted, I'm a Nuggets fan, so maybe that's also partial bias, but I mean, you have two of the top 5 players in this series in Joker and Ant. They've kind of went back and forth in the playoffs the past 5-6 years now. A lot of like game 7s we've seen both Ant and Joker go crazy in all the series. Like, it's been very back and forth, very fun series every time. I think this is the best series to start or in the first round in the NBA playoffs. I mean, my heart tells me Nuggets. It's a little scary though. Ant always goes off against the Nuggets. Always.
I like the Nuggets obviously as well, similar to you, Steve. I think a series that could have been fun is the Lakers-Rockets series, but I don't think it'll be fun anymore.
Well, yeah, because the Lakers' injuries.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's the only one that I think could have been fun as well, because I think there's just I think this is the most even series to start the playoffs in round 1. And so I agree with you. And the Timberwolves are scary because they match up pretty well, but Jokic has always had a pretty good outing against Gobert. Gobert isn't really anything too special as far as defensively against Jokic. And then I think what actually throws a wrench in it is when they go with the smaller lineup, the Timberwolves, and throw
Reed.
Yeah, and they go with a smaller lineup against Jokic, a more athletic guy. Because Jokic is going to get his, but when they get that athletic on the other end of the court, we start to see it a little bit more when Jokic is defending that guy, whoever it is, whether it's
Nas Reed or Julius Randle.
Yeah.
hopefully it's also Jokic, and he's his own. He's the best player in the league, essentially.
He's a freak, and Jamal Murray has been playing really well this season. I think he's had his best year in the NBA, and Aaron Gordon's back. I mean, we should have Christian.
Knock on wood.
We should have Christian Brown back as well. And I think the biggest difference in last year's Nuggets team and this year's Nuggets team is the 3-point shooting by some of the role players. And I think Jokic is going to get his, but I think it's going to be some of those other guys stepping up for sure.
Tim Hardaway Jr.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's nice to have 3-point shooting, a guy who can post up on the side and can consistently make those threes.
Yeah, I will say Cam Johnson started to play better. Christian Brown needs to step it up, though. He's been bad.
Yeah. Bruce Brown's been playing pretty well as well. Bruce Brown and Tim Hardaway can both stroke. They're very good role players.
Is Peyton Watson back?
I don't know if he's back yet. I think him and Christian Brown are questionable.
Is it Braun?
It's spelt Braun, but it's pronounced
Brown. Oh, okay. Just making sure. Don't want us to get roasted for mispronunciations.
Well, you
gotta check me.
Well, if you do it, you gotta own it.
You're usually really good with pronunciation, so
yeah, it's a good thing. I once was a speech pathologist. Good thing I switched to marketing. Then the last game, you got the number 4 Lakers versus the number 5 Rockets. Houston's favored 5.5.
Yeah, I think the Rockets are going to win. I think it's going to be Kevin Durant moving on. It just sucks because, like I said, I think this series could have been very interesting if Luka was there and Austin Reeves. But now you're down to your 2 best players, arguably. I know LeBron's there, and he's a great player, but he's obviously on the tail end of his career, and so you're not going to be able to rely on 40 minutes from LeBron, high level basketball at this stage in his career. So I like the Rockets here.
Yeah, I mean, everyone wanted to play the Lakers, basically, right? The Rockets just got the draw.
Yeah, lucky them. Moving on to the Eastern Conference, you get the number 1 Pistons. They're going to play the Magic or the Hornets. That final in that Hornets game was crazy. The sequence.
Yeah, it was.
Did you see LaMelo got tacked with a flagrant foul?
I have a question on that. How does that not get reviewed? We review literally everything else.
Yeah.
And Spoelstra is literally sitting there, as Bam even tells him as he's walking off the court too.
Yeah.
Like, he pulled my leg and no review. Like, that was in the second quarter. You hate to say that decides the game, but then you're in overtime. Like, where's the point? Where's the possession? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you hate to sit there and say that, especially in something in the second quarter. And then obviously, I think the Hornets had 28 second chance points, which you feel like maybe that doesn't happen with Bam Adebayo in there.
Yeah, it sucks. It's you hate to see it, and I mean they got it right after the fact, but that probably just insults to injury.
Play. It was a dirty. Him saying he hit his head and didn't know where he was just.
That's just insult to injury, though, for the Heat fans, because they're like, okay, you got it right, but we're out. There's nothing you can do about it.
What does you finding him do for us?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But I will say Charlotte's been very hot going into the playoffs, and it's one of those teams that's going to be interesting because, I mean, they have the top 2 3-point shooters in the league, right? As far as threes made this year. And LaMelo was really trying to take that from the rookie. But I think
didn't LaMelo shoot 2 of 15 from deep in that game?
Was he? I know he missed. I think they're like
and then
1-2.
I think Kong was 0 of 6.
Oh, geez. They were going back and forth. I didn't realize it was that close. Kobe White's been playing out of his mind.
Yeah, Kobe White had a stretch there to end that third quarter. Or second quarter.
It was second, yeah.
That was just insane.
Yeah. They've just been playing very good basketball, and I think it's going to be a tight game between them and the Magic. The Magic obviously get to be, home, so that's going to give them a slight advantage, I would say. But Charlotte's not too far. I think that'll be a pretty even crowd, I would imagine.
Are they close?
Not really.
I was like,
in the grand scheme of the United States, in the grand scheme of the United States, I would say they're close. How close are those?
You talk about the freaking stratosphere, Taylor?
You're talking about in the world, dude. They're pretty close to each other.
They're like, I mean, it's a 7.5 hour drive.
That's not that far for a quick jaunt.
Quick jaunt. It's an 18-hour train ride.
Oh my god! Make it an experience. Go hop on the train.
10-hour bus ride. $90 one way. That's pretty good.
Easy. Or just hop on a flight. I bet it's a 1 hour flight.
This is a $60 flight right now.
Yeah, exactly. They're gonna have their fans there. But
NBA fans travel like that?
Oh yeah, dude. Charlotte, they're known for how big their fan base is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, I think this is going to be a good game, but the thing that's tough is I think the Pistons are going to win it. Although I do think the Pistons are trajecting down and the Celtics are trajecting up, and that's a tough look for the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, doesn't it? It kind of feels like the Pistons maybe are still a year away. Like they need that year to, like they've had a great regular season, but postseason basketball is just different.
Yeah.
And they need that like extra year to like kind of adjust. I don't know. I'm with you. I don't know that I think the world of the Pistons, even though they're the 1 seed.
No, I mean, I think whoever comes out of this game, whether it's the Hornets or the Magic, I'm not going to say they're going to win the series, but I do think it's going to be closer than the 1-8 or 1-7 or whatever it is.
Well, the Magic have been super disappointing this year. They were a 4 seed last year with a bunch of young guys that people thought they were only going to get better, and now here they are in a lose and go home situation.
It's wild because their best player today was Desmond Bane, the old guy on the team, if you will.
Yeah, he took 34.
But I mean, those young guys, Paolo Banchero's got to step up. Black had a decent game, but
Jalen Suggs was awful. Yeah,
Jalen Suggs
shot 7 of 22.
Yeah, I mean,
Wendell Carter 1 of 7, Suggs 1 of 9.
It's tough.
Not gonna win a lot of games shooting like that. No. They have been fairly injured. I'll give them that. But
it is tough. But speaking of the Celtics, number 2 seed playing the 76ers. They're 11.5 point favorites.
When does Embiid get back? I know he's had appendicitis. Is he supposed to come back and play in that, or is he out? Or Embiid's
I have no idea if he's going to be back in that series, but I think that's a key piece. But Celtics are just so deep that it kind of, I don't know if the Sixers are going to be able to hang with them just because of how deep the Celtics are. I mean, they play 8-9 guys. Especially now that. Go ahead.
Says he's out a couple weeks. That's the typical recovery of appendicitis. So if they win, he might play like in the next series, or it'd be like a couple. It might be like the semis.
The 24th, he should be back for like a game 5, I would think.
Yeah, it just really depends on how he recovers, like himself.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. With all their freaking technology and health now, it's crazy. They can come back quicker. But what were you saying, Sam?
especially since they have Jason Tatum back, and I don't know how he came. Like, he looks pretty much like his old self.
It's probably those everyday texts he sends to Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, that's so cheesy. But do what you got to do. You're an all-star NBA player, so who am I to say?
Yeah, fair.
But they're so deep, and honestly, him being out this year has let a lot of other guys kind of step up, get some serious minutes, and then now coming playoff time, he's got a few runs, and now he gets to. I don't know if he's going to be fully unleashed in the playoffs. He might still be on a little bit of a minutes restriction. I don't know how much you
I
want
would
to guess
doubt
that.
it.
I don't know.
He came back in like early March.
Yeah, if I'm him, I'm playing all the minutes, but we can't all be like that.
Moving on, you got yeah. You got the number 3 Knicks versus the number 6 Hawks. New York is 5.5 point favorites.
I don't know too much
kind
about.
Of sneaky. I will say that.
Are they? I don't know too much about the Hawks.
Jalen Johnson's like the new Mr. Triple Double man.
We got Mr. Triple Double on the Nuggets, actually.
No, I'm saying he's the new one. I'm not saying he's Nikola Jokic by any means.
That's a crazy comparison, Steve.
Yeah, that was a crazy. My bad.
You're gonna fluff some feathers out there.
Yeah, can't wait to argue that one in the TikTok comments.
Yeah, I don't know much about these teams, but if Steve says the Hawks are sneaky,
the Hawks are sneaky. They got better trading Trae Young. I'll say that.
All right. And then the last game, you have number 4 Cavaliers versus the number 5 Raptors. Cleveland's 8.5 point favorites.
I think Cleveland's going to win this series. Cleveland too dealt with some injuries, and they had some slides throughout the season, but Cleveland has that experience from last year. I think they're going to roll the Raptors.
Yeah, this Cavs team is, I mean, on paper, they are a good-looking roster. That is for sure.
Can you expand on that a little bit more? Good looking?
Yeah, guys like when you look like me. No, I mean Donovan Mitchell, James Harden, Jarrett Allen.
And they have playoff experience last year too. I mean,
Larry Nance.
Can't forget Larry Nance.
The
world champion. Larry Nance.
Is he hurt still?
I don't know.
I feel like he's hurt a lot. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, and that's the NBA playoffs. We'll kind of keep watching it as the weeks go on, but something else to talk about, which we probably all don't know about too much, but the NHL playoffs. If they started today, there's still 2 more days of games, I believe. But the only thing that matters is the Avs are your number 1 seed.
They got the President's Trophy.
We're going to change the curse.
Yeah, it's time we end that because it's been since, I know the Blackhawks were the last team to do it, which I think that was 2012?
I don't know the dates, but yes, it's been a while.
But you got Colorado versus the Kings.
I feel very confident with Colorado against the Kings.
Correct me if I'm wrong, because I really only watch Avalanche hockey during the regular season, but Darcy Kemper is the goalkeeper for the Kings, right?
Yes.
Would love to just take it to him.
All right. Then we got the Dallas Stars versus Minnesota Wild.
I think this is going to be a great.
Thank God the Avs won this to let these two teams just duke it out.
It sucks because those three teams, the Avs, the Stars, and the Wild, I don't want to fake like I know a shit ton about NHL. However, I've heard that those three teams are like three of the top 5 teams in the league.
Yeah.
And one of them is going to get knocked out in the first round because of the way the NHL playoff goes. So I'm so glad that we dodged a bullet there because we've had to play the Stars, 2 years in a row? And it's just a knockdown, drag out brawl in the first round of the playoffs. And I'm so glad we don't have to play them in the first round. So I think that's going to be a super interesting series. That's what I love about the NHL playoffs, though, is the series you rarely see a 4-1, 4-0 series just because of how, it's just next level hockey and everyone's so talented. I think NHL playoffs is maybe the most fun playoffs to watch as far as, 7-game series type playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah, they all compete. Moving on, we got Vegas versus Utah. The Mammoths making their first appearance in the playoffs.
I think that's going to show, unfortunately. I think the Golden Knights just have had so much experience in the playoffs that I think that'll show and the Golden Knights win this thing.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right, and then we got Edmonton versus Anaheim.
Hard to bet against McDavid, although their goalkeeping always makes it so it's possible.
I think the scary thing here, if you're an Oilers fan, is like if they lose this series, there's a serious possibility that they just blow up the team.
I think even if they just don't win a cup, right, or make it to the Stanley Cup final, it's like something's got to change.
Yeah. Especially when you have two superstars you have one next level Connor McDavid, and then you have Leon Draisaitl, who's a top player in the league as well. And you might just have to change everything, completely retool the team.
Yeah, it looks like they split the series versus the Ducks. Oh, the Oilers have, or I guess both teams essentially. They split the series 1-1. So tough matchup. And then moving on to the Eastern Conference, you got Buffalo versus Boston.
I hate to say it, but I don't know anything about either of these teams. So
Buffalo came out of nowhere. I do know that.
You're going Buffalo?
Well, I don't really know either. Boston, I feel like all I see is their fans complaining about the Bruins, so I didn't even realize they were in the playoffs, if we're being honest. Again, I only watched the Avs. But I do know Buffalo started off really bad and they saved a bunch of receipts, and when they clinched, they went at everyone.
Yeah, I think maybe they just continue rolling. I think I'll go Buffalo.
They are the best in the Eastern. Then we got Tampa Bay versus Montreal. Little 2-3 action.
I think I like Montreal here. No Austin Matthews, right? Isn't he out for the year?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what's tough.
All right. Then we got Carolina versus Ottawa.
Hurricanes. I've heard they're like the best, so I'm going Hurricanes there. Besides the Avs,
they have been known to do it.
I'll take the Hurricanes Pittsburgh, USA.
USA. Then we got Pittsburgh versus Philly. Two terrible fan bases. Oof.
I'll take Pittsburgh just because it feels like we're really, really starting to get towards the end for Sid the Kid. So
yeah, let's see Pittsburgh get one, at least a playoff victory.
Yeah, maybe at least make it a little exciting.
All right, again, we'll keep you guys updated as the playoffs roll around. We don't know much about hockey, so you're getting about our full extent of hockey knowledge that we can. We need a hockey expert in here. I don't know anyone who. We gotta get Joseph in here. He's big on hockey.
We got to start jumping in, watching the playoffs here, and then we'll have some good stuff to talk about after. But
yeah, I watch playoff hockey, but
yeah,
the rest I don't know. It's just not.
You mean you don't want to watch all 82 games?
Outside of
that.
82. That's a lot of games. It's almost as much as baseball. Speaking of baseball,
no,
how about them Rockies?
They're kind of struggling again.
Oh, there.
Yeah.
Back to their old ways.
But they did go 500. For the latest, they've been 500 since 2022. So that's cool.
Yeah, they were doing decent there for a little bit, but
here it is. They were 6-6, and now they're 6-12. So.
Yep, they are on a little 0-6 run. I noticed. So not close games either. Oh, maybe the Astros.
They played the Padres, who are pretty good, and then the Astros, who they did sweep the Astros actually already this year.
They did. They did. Well, that's the only Rockies we'll talk, because it's only going to get worse from here probably.
Yeah, and baseball doesn't matter until
September.
Yeah, honestly.
Cheerfully. Sam, I heard you have some hot takes for us. Or did you already talk about them?
Yeah. I'll go through a couple of them. I was thinking it, so I'm setting the tone a little bit here. There I was watching the 76ers play the Magic today, and I'm watching VJ Etchkin play. I think VJ Etchkin is the best rookie player as far as talented both ways. Impact offensively and defensively, impact for the team. And I know it's a hot take. Cooper Flagg and Concanipple are the best offensive players, and I don't think it's necessarily close. VJ Etchkin plays both ways, very good defensive player, and does all the hard work, nitty-gritty stuff on the defensive end, as well as being a consistent scorer on the offensive end.
I agree with. I think you're right. He probably is the best two-way player, but I think by saying that is a gross disrespect to how good Cooper Flagg is on the offensive end, and actually he's still a decent defender.
He's a decent defender, and I know it's not common, but I don't have too much to say. I mean, it doesn't have too much to do with the fact that I have a future on VJ Etchkin, rookie of the year. But
that ain't cashing.
No way. But he's very good defensively, and I think he's the best two-way player. And maybe it's not a spicy take if you say it that way, that he's the best two-way player, but I do think he's the best two-way player as a rookie, this rookie class.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but I still feel like it is a gross disrespect to how good Cooper Flagg is offensively. You know what I'm saying, though?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I don't know. It's just what I'm saying. It's just what I feel. I just had to throw it out there. There's a few other things here.
Also, hot take, but you can't wear number 77. It's just.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. That one I'll give you. All right, sticking NBA. Jokic is already a top 5 all-time offensive player. I don't know if this is a hot take, but I don't know if.
Oh, I think it is for a lot of people.
Jokic is a top 5 offensive player. I know, and everyone's going to say, what's he doing on defense? I'm saying offensive player. Top 5 offensive player. It doesn't even matter if he stopped today.
I would fully agree with that. No player, here's the stat to back that up. No player has ever led the league in assists and rebounds. Like the same player has never done that. Joker just did it in the same season.
Yeah.
And by the way, in this decade, he's first in points, first in assists, and first in rebounds in the NBA as a whole.
Yeah. He is so good offensively. The way he sees the game, his ability to make shots, his shot making is incredible. And it's just what he does on the offensive side of the ball is just second to none. And you can tell when he's outside, like when he's out, you can tell. I don't know exactly what his plus minus is, but it's got to be up there. I don't know if it's the top.
I think he also usually leads the league in plus minus. I don't know what it is this year, but I know last year he led the league in plus minus.
Yeah. It's unreal how much of a difference offensively they are with him on the court versus when he's off the court. All right, next one. Wembanyama is going to get an MVP before he gets a championship. Wembanyama is going to get an MVP before he gets a conference finals appearance.
Oh boy, I don't know, dude. The Spurs, I could see the Spurs being there this year. I hate to say that because that Nugget, if the Nuggets advance, because the Nuggets got problems in the first round too. They better show up. But that's gonna be a knockdown, drag out 7-game series, I think. And I don't know, when it's game 7, it's anyone's game, right? Like it's a 1-game.
Win in, you're in.
Yeah, I don't know. So I could see the Spurs being there this year, but man, it feels like Wemby maybe wins MVP next year.
That's what I think he's a freak NBA player. And I mean, I don't know where that's coming from necessarily, but as far as him going to win MVP before he even gets to a finals, but I just think what he's doing on both sides of the ball is just unreal. His length and size, it's crazy what he can do. And his agility for being so lanky it's crazy to watch.
Well, and his touch too.
Yeah.
He can shoot.
Yeah. And then defensively, he's one of the best defensive players in the league. He's going to get defensive player
wingspan.
Yeah, it's crazy. I just think he's going to get MVP, and it's not really taking a shot at the Spurs. I just think that he's going to get MVP before he even gets to the finals.
Yeah, I mean, I could very well see the Spurs next year with Wemby winning MVP and the Spurs in the finals.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know how many you want me to do, Taylor, but I thought of some NBA ones NFL ones. And I don't know if we want to get into NFL, but we can if you want to.
It's up to you, Sam. If you want to go, if you want to dive, do one more.
I'll just
NFL.
do one. I'll just do one NFL one. I think Caleb Williams had so much expectation that he seems like a disappointment. If he obviously last season was decent, but he had so much expectation coming into the league. If he didn't have that expectation, he would be talked about significantly different than the way he's talked about right now. Meaning, if he didn't have expectations of the best quarterback to ever come out since who are they comparing him to? I even forget who they were comparing him to when he was coming out.
Joe Burrow, maybe? I don't know.
I don't know who it was. But anyways, he had these high expectations. And I mean, he made it to the playoffs last year, won a playoff game. But if his expectations weren't set quite as high, obviously he's the number 1 draft pick, but the expectations of him were set so high that he's not met expectations as far as his performance on the field. And I think those expectations are the difference between us talking about him like, oh, wow, can you believe what this guy's doing? Versus Well, it's Caleb Williams and the Bears. We'll see what happens.
I have two things for you there. One you just kind of mentioned. Certain franchises like the Bears are notorious for like always doing the wrong thing and messing people up and at quarterback, right? So do you think that plays into it a little bit?
It does, but the expectations affected it because what he's done has been impressive. But the expectations were that he was going to do that in the first year. He was going to do what he did last year in the first year. And then it was almost expected that he would do what he did last year. If some of these other quarterbacks come out and have a decent first year, all right, there were definitely some things that you can improve on, and then have a significantly better second year, you'd be saying, wow, this guy's improving. He's, moving towards a top 10 quarterback in the league, whatever it is. I just made up 10, but because of his expectations, people don't talk about him as like a top quarterback, improving quarterback, getting better and better quarterback in the league.
Second question, do you feel like his expectations were higher than most normal, like number one overall quarterbacks, or?
Yes.
So you think he was like, because he was talked about as that generational. Here's another third question. Did he do it to himself by the whole like ownership deal thing, like 10% ownership drafting kind of thing?
Well, and that's tough because he was having his dad represent him, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, I believe so. Right? I think that came from his dad.
So I don't know exactly where that's coming from. Like, is that coming from him or his dad? But yes, the way he carries himself too, as a little bit. You have to have a little bit of swagger as a quarterback and confidence and stuff like that. But when he was in college, he definitely brought a little bit of that on himself, the way he was playing, and not your typical quarterback as far as the way he handles media and the way he carries himself. But at the same time, very talented. And what some of the throws he was making, the situations he got out of and, got the ball downfield was incredible. And I just feel like no one talks about him as like a top tier quarterback. And I'm not saying he's a Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes type quarterback, but he's, for a second year guy, he's developed significantly in the NFL. Like, he could have very well fallen flat on his face in the second year, and he improved and continued getting better.
All right, I just keep asking questions. Does that get credited more, do you think, than towards Caleb Williams, or do you think Ben Johnson is kind of stealing a lot of that credit, though?
Ben Johnson has a lot to affect, but I think that's also negatively affecting Caleb again, because that's another out that people are using. It's Ben Johnson. Yeah, exactly. People are giving it to Ben Johnson. It's like, you still have to go out and make the crazy plays that he's making on the field. I feel like he took such a big jump from year one to year two that people just aren't giving him the credit. I hate, you hate to bring up Jaden Daniels because he got injured in his third year, but Jaden Daniels in his second year, he lit up the world, and people were talking about him as a top 5 quarterback, and then, goes out and gets injured. I think Jaden Daniels is still a stud, but it's that type of, Jaden Daniels versus Caleb Williams is not getting the same type of hype going into the third season.
I don't know about that. I think we'll see what kind of happens, but Jaden Daniels had a sophomore slump, and I think Caleb had a tough first year, and his second year was a little better.
The problem for Caleb,
he made some crazy plays.
Yeah. I also think you just kind of mentioned it. The other problem for Caleb was he was deemed that generational quarterback. He went first overall, and then Jaden went second overall, and then made a conference championship. So I do think that hurt Caleb as well, though. And if you look at the rest of the quarterbacks in that draft too, Bo Nix, if he plays, you kind of feel like Denver's in a Super Bowl. Drake May, who has now played in a Super Bowl, like, I don't want to say Caleb's falling behind these guys because they're all very good, but when you compare that, I think maybe like it's all kind of built into a narrative that hasn't helped him. I'm with you. I think he's a lot better than people have given him credit for. But I think there's all of that has factored into like one big narrative about him.
Yeah, and we'll see how he plays this year. But
I have more.
That wraps up another.
I'll just give you a quick little tidbit. Running backs are making a name for themselves again. I really think they're going to have to.
Yeah.
Zoom calls
we'll
work.
See how the draft goes when we start talking about it next week.
That's not the take, but I think their value is going to go up again.
I think it already has.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yeah, we'll see.
But I know everybody's been waiting all episode for this. If Jay is listening out there, if he's stuck around this long, I hope he did. I called in a special guest for your meal who was around you a lot more than we were. But Brandon out there gave me your master's dinner that he planned
for
for
the
you.
dessert that I heard.
I might say a version of it, but it's not. It's I guess if there's any young listeners out there, this is when it might not be so PG-13. It might get a little more dicey when I'm telling you what this is. But his appetizer is gonna be some taquitos. I don't remember him ever eating taquitos, but I guess he ate a lot of them.
Well, when your highs all get out all the time, taquitos make a ton of sense.
It's true. It's true. And then his dinner would be Corona Village Taco Tuesday, which was, for the listeners out there who didn't know, it was $5 for unlimited tacos. That questionable meat, but it was $5. So we can't complain. We're in college, poor kids. You can go eat as much tacos as you want for $5. I don't know what his record was. 12.
Yeah, and then you like throw up afterward because you eat too many tacos.
Yeah, he tried to break his record every time. I don't remember what it was. He'd have to come defend himself. And then one of his desserts would be a bowl of sour candy.
Oh yeah.
And parents, cover your kids' ears right now. We are not always a kid-friendly podcast, but a big fat cock for dessert is what he recommended for the Masters. So shout out Brandon out there for that one. I know he's a listener because he always tells us what's funny and what's not funny, or the takes we do. So he'll listen to this, and if he doesn't, we'll call him out on it. But Jay, if you hear this, you gotta hit a rebuttal.
Your mouth is watering right now.
A famous tip from Sam, if you know.
Whoa!
If your eyes are
about tips now, the boys.
Hey, this is what we'll leave you with, guys. If your eyes are watering, no, if your eyes are closed, and you feel, I don't remember it. Fuck, I haven't said it in a while. Sam,
You're
go
doing
for
good,
it.
Taylor. Let's hear it. No, let's hear it, Taylor. Come on, finish it up. All right.
No, you.
If your eyes are closed and your mouth is open, you feel a tickle in the back of your throat, you probably got a cock in your mouth.
Well, that wraps up another episode of Audibles and Airballs. We hope you enjoyed the latest sports highlights, in-depth breakdowns, a little bit of everything between. A lot of it in between today. If you're as passionate about sports as we are, make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode. And don't forget to leave us a review. It really helps us out. You got a burning question? You want to comment on Sam's tip for the day? Or you want to talk to Steve about some hot takes? Or he just wants to hear you guys respond on TikTok. Please do. He wants to have the little TikTok comments battle. We won't hide anything. We won't delete anything. You say what you want to say. But hit us up on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, maybe if we post on Twitter. I don't know if we ever do anymore. Hit us up at Audibles and Airballs. We love hearing from you guys. So thanks for hanging out with us. Keep cheering, keep debating, and most importantly, if you feel something in the back of your throat, you know the rest. This is Audibles and Airballs. See ya.